Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Awe Studio, and welcome to my patrons who are following this veil painting technique there. I'm really glad that you're getting the full videos, and I hope that you on YouTube will go to Patreon and join so you can see the videos there too. And I'm going to start by just activating the yellow in my dish, stirring that around a little bit, and we'll start here in the yellow forms. I'm looking today to create more green and more oranges. Now it's actually good that I got a drip there so I can show you what to do with the drip. I'm going to wash the brush off, dry it on the rag, and then I can wick up the color while it's still wet. Now if that's blue or red, you're going to have a harder time, but since it's yellow, I can easily soften any edges or take off the color. Get that yellow enriched, and you can see I'm doing a little bit of a different movement each time, being aware of what would balance the forms, make it interesting, but still harmonious. Now coming up here to where there is a little bit of orange. This is because, of course, yellow is layering over red. I'm going to try to increase that by warming up the red with a yellow veil. And if you see close up, there is just a slight difference between where that orange veil has come on top of the red veil underneath. Now let's take some red onto our brush next. Remember, red is going to be one of the more powerful colors, so you can start with a lighter color than you think you need. And I'm going to bring that right over the blue part here to create a violet. My yellow is wet down here, so I can't go into that. I'll have to dry it first, but up here I can move towards what I did with orange. And let's say I want this red to not be so heavy on its formative quality on the edges. I wash the brush, I dry it, and I go over that edge just to soften it a little bit. That creates a lighter effect and more of an airbrushed look. Now I'm going to do some blue veils, this blue color, and I'm going to start by adding a very light blue up here. I'm just going to get a breathing in of blue values to my corners. And the right side of the picture, I think, is coming along very nicely. And this side, the left side, looks a little empty in comparison. So probably I would be able to bring some other colors into this side by simply moving the veil painting to another angle. Look at it this way. Now you might be able to see the balance is primarily here in the lower portion, and the upper right, which was the left-hand side before, is looking a little bit empty. You could paint on it another direction for a few times to see if you can balance it, but I don't recommend that you flip the veil painting back and forth a lot. Try to stick to one way or the other. Let's look at balancing this portion of the painting. There is a lot of red, violet, and green and blue on this side, and then over here we have yellow, green, and blue. We don't really have any red or orange. Let's take a little bit of red from the saucer here, dry off the ferrule so it doesn't drip, and then let's put a red form into this side of the picture. And over here I'll just soften it with a wet dry brush to get rid of a little bit of that strong line. Now as I'm painting this form, I'm looking over here at what's happening. And you can see that there's a movement like this, which could be reflected here if I want to, by creating that sort of indentation. Or if I want to oppose that movement and create a little more tension, I can bulge this one towards what I've done on the other side. Remember, yellow is the one color that will get lost most easily because it's very light, and so you may need to come back to the yellow again and again and intensify the yellow spaces in order for them not to disappear entirely. I'm going to brighten this one over here. Look at how beautiful that is, coming into the orange and even creating more green down here. And then I have a little bit more yellow on this side of the picture, which I can just coax in and maybe even wrap around here to the top. I like that idea. Now I'm starting to see a more balanced composition. It doesn't mean that each color is equal size, but it does mean that the value of each color is approximately the same. So you're not going to end up with a really light blue and a really deep red. You want them all to be at about the same layer or value depth. When you get to this stage where you feel that your color composition is harmonious and all the colors are speaking more or less to each other in a way that feels interesting, then keep going with the color spaces, changing them ever so slightly and enriching them or characterizing them, making them speak a little bit more generously in each form. And soon we'll be ready to look for a theme.